Well, g'day everyone. I wanted to talk to you today about a product I've been sent. It's actually a scanner, but it's very different to other scanners that are out there. And I'm very interested in this product because I actually used to do professional scanning in the advertising industry. So this is quite exciting to have a look at this product. What this product does, it actually can scan books and things like that aren't flat, and it flattens them out for you, which is a terrific feature of this. It also has something like a display mode, so it almost looks like a projector that you're beaming on the wall, except it's using the digital readout, so you can show it on screens or projectors or things like that, which is also another nice feature. It's called a presentation mode, and I'll show that being used as well. It does do about 2 pages every 1.5 seconds or something like that, and it's an 18 megapixel sensor that's in this device, and it sort of gets around up to 8K for sampling. So I'll show you that later on as we're looking at the actual product as well. So what I thought we'd do is we'd have a look at the unboxing of it, and I'll show you what's in the package. Then we'll set it up and I'll show you how it all works. So the product is called CZUR. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll look at what's in here. There was a little software package that came here. I already took that out, but that has a CD. Now, to register it, you do need a serial number though, and I believe that's on the bottom of the unit itself. So that's how we sort of look at that. So let's just start taking little bits out. We'll just start from here. So this is full of USB cables, and I'll put them on the desk and then we'll have a look at them. This here is they're like little thumb tacks that you put on for scanning. This is a foot pedal. Now, I'll show you how these are all used a little bit later on. There's 2 ways of controlling this. There's a foot pedal, and there's also a hand button one that you can use as well. So there's 2 little things there that you can use. This one here is your power adapter. Here is a mat, and that's very important to use because it separates what you're scanning, and I'll show you that. In here are the side lights. And then lastly, here is the scanner. Okay, so just take out the USB cable. So it is like a printer cable, actually, looking at that. So it's got that older sort of shape to it, and it's USB, your normal USB there. In here. So this is your power adapter, so it does come with additional adapters. It hasn't got an Australian one though. I think that's because I've got this sent from overseas, but I do believe if you've got the Australian version of this, you'll get the Australian adapter. I haven't got that here, so I'll have to use an adapter to get this to work. So let me just move that over. Now these finger little devices here have markers on the side that you can see sort of here. And what you do is this is what you use to hold the book down, and it will eliminate these marks. So I'll show you how that is when it's working, so you'll get an idea about how that works. Then you've got, like I said, the foot pedal. This is also handy. If you want to just have this on the floor, and then because you could be holding the book down, and then you've got a little hand adapter if you're not doing that and you're scanning pictures or things like that you could use as well. Then you've got little side lights. So let me just see how you open this. So this is a little side light. It's magnetic as well, and I'll show you how you install this in a second. So this is the unit itself. I'll show you from a top-down look in a second, but you can sort of see here that you've got control buttons that you've got here that you can use. I'm not sure what they do yet. I'll have to work that out when I check the unit out. On the back of this device, you've got ports that are here, so this is where you're going to connect it in. You've also got an on-off switch as well, a DC input. This is your USB port. This is where you'll put your foot pedal or your hand pedal if you wanted to connect that. So that's all straightforward. You've got your markings on here where you'll connect these other lights that I'll show you in a minute. Now on the top, up here, you do have a display that you can see here, and that will show you what you're scanning underneath. So that's terrific to actually have that, and I think you've got some controls that you can use here as well. So we'll have a look at that when we set this all up. But just to put this magnetic bit on, all you do is move it down until it locks on like that. So I'll show you that on the other camera. So all it does, you just move it down until you feel it clip on those points, and it will lock in place like that. So you don't have to leave those on, but it will just make everything work a little bit better. The only other thing you have is this mat. It's got like a rough feeling sort of texture on the back here. Then you'll turn this over, and this is what you will then put the scanner on top like that. And this is how it eliminates all this area. It will eliminate whatever you're trying to scan, and it automatically sort of cuts it out. So what we'll do is we'll go and set this up, and I'll show you how the whole system works. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're actually going to try and do some scanning. So I'm going to show a multiple or various images that I'm going to scan. And where this is fantastic is doing things like kids' drawings and things like that you wanted to save, and I'll show that being used. I might even do some business cards, and I'll do a book and things like that, and I'll also show you presentation mode. So what we'll do, we'll launch the application, and then I'll show you how it all works. And we'll start with the presentation mode. So let's switch now to the application. So here's the application itself. Not much to it really. There's just scanner or visual presenter. Well, we're going to start out with visual presenter. Now first I'm going to start the scanner up. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch the scanner on at the back, and then the lights will come on. And you can see that there. Now all you have to do is at the top, you just make sure that you move it around so it fits in the screen, and it fits amongst this matte area that you're sort of seeing underneath here. And you can do that from the top if you want to. You could just sort of stand up and look there and just make sure that it is sort of sitting in the middle. I mean, you can put it anywhere you like. You can turn it around, put it down there if you want to. So this is just a nice little drawing that my granddaughter actually did. So we'll have a look at that now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on to presentation mode. So I'll switch back to the application, and I'm going to click on to Visual Presenter. Now once I go onto Visual Presenter, really all that you have to do is to just click on Display. Okay, so you can see that it's come up here, and therefore you can now project this onto a screen or something like that. If you had a projector, then you could make it large so you could view it in your audience. Now you could use this with anything. In fact, if I bring over, you know, like a book, I could bring that into it. I could then say open up the pages and discuss what's inside the pages with people, things like that. So it's really good in that regard. Now, if you found there wasn't enough light, or you wanted to change the lighting, you could just turn the lighting off from here. I mean, this does sort of scale up in 2 power intensities, or I could just turn the backlighting on. Now, they do say if it's got a lot of reflection that you use these side lights rather than the backlights, but you know, it looks really quite good when you're looking at it. And like I said, this is a very thick book, but anyway, I'll bring back the kids one, and let me turn back the lights on. Because it's flat, this doesn't really matter. Now you can see it's a little bit overexposed with both lights on there, so I might turn off the side lights. There we go. So what you can then do if you want to is you can also, if you wanted to demonstrate and things like that, you could click onto here and determine your color, and then you can draw on the thing as well. So if you wanted to highlight a certain area, you could click on that or that if you wanted to go that way. You can enlarge this or make it smaller as well. You can change your line intensity or the size of your lines through here as well. So there's lots that you can do through this if you want to. You can even go on the brush there and delete everything that's on there as well. So you could have an awful lot of fun. And being an ex-teacher, I think this is amazing, because I would have loved to have had something like this, that I could have used to sort of demonstrate to the kids. And also you can just take a freeze frame of this if you want to, so it saves it into the folder that you've set up, and you can also do a video of it as well if you wanted to record a video of what you were doing, and then you could share that later on as well. So, I think it's excellent. It's a lot of fun to use. You've also got shapes that you could draw up here as well. If you wanted to go that way, there's sort of squares, triangles, and all different things. And like I said, you can change the color if you want to. But yeah, I mean, it's great. That just undoes what you've got there as well, I think. So if I did a squiggle and then I just press down to here, it will just undo what you've done last. So that's how that works. So like I said, it's very, very simple, but it's a great feature if you did want to display things to, you know, an audience. So now let's try scanning. Okay, so I've got this lovely picture of my wife that I've got here. So I'll just put it there. Now you can see it automatically gets the size of the image itself. It's sort of grabbing my hand. Normally you would have this pulled out a little bit more, but I'm short for space here. So if I move sort of that down, you can see that it's grabbed that. Now all I have to do is you can determine from over here what type of image it is, like if it was a black and white image, grayscale, things like that. But I believe I looked at a video, and even when they did a book they still use color, but I'll show these sort of working later as well. Now you can sort of pick through here whether it's a single flat image. That's what this is. You can do facing pages, and I'll show it doing a book. There's combined slides and manual selection as well. So all I'm going to do is just click down here and do a scan. Now, as soon as I've done that, it's put the scan over there on the left-hand side. You can see over here. So the scan has actually been done. Now, if I double click on that, you can see I've brought that in, and there's the scan that's actually being created. Now, to get back now to edit this, all I do is I just go to back up the top up there, and then you can see the image in here. Now you've got to select the image on the right. That means it's now become active, because you would have multiple images that are actually showing up through here. And then if I went into color mode, you could change this if you wanted to different modes if you'd like to do that. But I mean, I'm not going to change this. I'm just going to leave it on color. Let me just close that. If you click on rotate, you can rotate the image around. So if you did scan it the wrong way, then you can rotate it or flip it horizontal or vertically if you'd like to do that. Quality here, you can determine your contrast, sharpness and thickness as well. So you can do that. You can also zoom up or zoom down to check it as well. So if you wanted to say add contrast, you could, if you wanted to do it that way. Take contrast out if you want to go that way. So you have got, you know, a little bit of control over it. Not a heap, but then you could take it into an editing software if you wanted to. This overlapping edge area, there are no curved pages in the selected target. Please try again. So that would be if you've got something with a book, it will flatten the areas out. Cropping is pretty cool because you can crop multiple pages if you'd like to. So if you had, say, a book, you can do it to all of them. So if I dragged, you know, this up on the book, it would crop that much out of every single page of the book that you've got. Or you can just do it on a single page if you'd like to, if you've only scanned a single page. You can also put the cropping in by pixels as well, so you can do it manually if you'd like to as well. This keep end pixels does it from the center, so it will put a point from the center and works that way. But it's quite powerful in the cropping aspect. Standardize, all that means is if you had a color background, you can select it. For instance, if I click on color here, you'll notice that it brings up a color picker. Now, if, for instance, I'd scan, say, the kids thing and I wanted to make, and this was red or blue, I could then click down here and sort of select a blue somewhere, and then you'll notice it's appearing in the color up here. And then it should now show, if I say go to A4 and go portrait, it will show the blue on the outside. So it does add that bit of extra there. Like if I went to A3, you'll see it'll be much bigger. Therefore you can see. So you could sort of try and match or make a nice color background if you wanted to do it that way. So, you know, that's pretty cool as well. You could spend a bit of time playing around with that. Here you can rename your images if you wanted to rename them all, and, you know, they will go from increment numbers up, things like that. You just say what you'd like it to start with. And then you've got print, obviously. Now, these we'll look at when we do the OCR stuff from a book or something like that, or something that's been printed. You can also do a PDF if you'd like to save it as a PDF. So you can save it through here and change all your percentages that you'd like, you know, to make it smaller or larger, or even go custom if you wanted to. And it's the same here with TIFF as well. You can determine whether you'd like it just grayscale and what sort of compression that you'd like to use as well. So, you know, there's lots of options in this software that you can use, and it's pretty cool. Some of these things down here just sort of mimic what you're seeing on the top up there. But some of them are a little bit different. For instance, like here, up here, this just sort of zooms it in, but the cropping one's pretty cool because, say for instance, I wanted to move something, I can just click in here and then move it. So that's one way you can do this too. If I wanted to go here, I could just say reverse it back and it will take it back. This one here is your rotation, the same as what I said before, or you can manually rotate it if you'd like to do it that way. You've got the same color controls. Like I said, it's not much there, but you have got a little bit of control there as well. This here is just an undo. If you had anything that you'd done and you didn't like it, you can undo it. Print, OCR, we won't look at in this image. So it's got nice controls that you can use from here. If you wanted to then control it more, you would obviously have to take it into something like a photo editor or something like that. So what we'll do now is we'll try to do some scanning of some text, and then we'll see if we can OCR it. Okay, so the book I'm going to scan is a Tom Finney book. I'm actually a Preston North End fan. So what we'll do is we'll put this on the scanner and then I'll show how this is going to work. All right, so again, all you'll be doing here is putting the book down. Now, what you do is you've just got to, say, find the page that you want to do, or you could do multiple pages if you liked. So all you do is you line up here. Now, you'll notice on the right-hand side there, it's now on facing pages. So I am showing now that it's going to do both pages. And then you just hold these pages down with these little thumb sort of tacks that are there. Now I'm just going to press scan now and we'll see how it goes. Now they've appeared there on the right hand side. So, and what it does, it eliminates the hands. So let's have a look at that. So if I move this over and we have a look now, if I go back, you can see that's page 1, so the hands have been eliminated. And if we go to page, it's actually these ones. And then if I go to page 2 here, you can see there also that it's eliminated the hands. So that's page 1 that we did, and that's page 2. Okay, so now that I've got the 2 scans, you can see them both here. I'll just show you how we can edit these images. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to convert this to an OCR Word document. So if I click on the Word document here, now it's on English at the moment, so you can see that there. Now, if you wanted to go to other languages, well, there's a whole stack, I mean heaps over here as well. You can also search for them as well. I'm just going to leave these as they are and put this back on English and then just say confirm. Now, once I say confirm, it's going to ask where I want to save it, and I'm going to save it on a USB drive that I've got attached here, and I'm just going to call this test 1. All right, so this is test. So this is just test docs. It's got that extension because it's a Word document. Now I'll save it. And before I do show that, I'm also going to save one as a searchable PDF. So I'll click down here and say searchable PDF. Again, it's the same dialog box that comes up. I'm going to say confirm, and I'll call it test 1. All right, so we've got test and test 1, and it's got the PDF extension on there as well. Now, if we look inside the folder for that, here you can see that they're the 2 documents. So we've got test doc, which is your Word document, and then test PDF. So I'll just show you this first in Word. So if we open this up, so you can see here now that this is editable. So you can just select any text you wanted to take out, if I wanted to delete that, for instance, or whatever. And it looks like it's done a very, very good job. I'll just have to check a couple of things there that may be a bit of an error. So, but overall, it looks like it's done a fantastic job. But I would check it to make sure that it has done a great job of OCR, and it seems to have. But so that's the Word part to this. So let me just quit Word, and then I'll show you the searchable PDF. So if I open this, and I'm going to use PDF Element. Now this time when I open up this, I should be able to search with it because I saved that. So I'll look for the hour there. So if I go onto the search area here and put OUR, it will then bring up everywhere where that's been seen in this document. So, it looks like it works really good. If I click on it, you can see that it's searched it out there. You can see each area where that word is. It's highlighted it through there. Good. I could also save if I wanted to as a normal PDF through here. As well, you can determine your quality that you'd like there. I can also then do TIFF if I'd like to as well. You can do color or grayscale, and you can also determine the compression that you'd like to use as well. So the last thing we'll try is to say scan some little cards. So we'll do that now and have a look at how that works. All right, so now let me show you how this works. So I'm going to do business cards. So I'm just going to place them down onto the black mat here. I'll just switch back over so you can see what's happening. And as I bring it in, it's going to just keep changing the way that this box looks. Right, now you can have as many as these as you like. Now there's a trick now that you can come up with to get these to sort of show individually. This is changing because I haven't got enough room on this bench. Normally I'd have the scanner back more and I'd have more of the black mat showing here. So now if I go on to, at the moment I'm on this flat single page. So if I click onto the side here, and then say multi-target paging and confirm on that one, now when I go scan, it will scan each individual card on its own. And that's brilliant. So that's a great way that you can scan multiple objects all at once, and you can see all of those. So what do I think about the product? Well, I think it's really good for what it is. Look, it's not really for the average home user unless you do things like I showed you. It's more as a professional device, particularly seeing its price range, which is over $500 US. But I think if you do things like wanting to grab bills that you wanted to scan, if you wanted to use the OCR professionally like what I've done, even if you wanted to capture stuff like your kids' portraits or drawings that they've done over the years, and grab some books and things like that and make them into a digital form and even use OCR. I think the product is quite good for a home user. It just depends if you can justify the cost. It is much more featured than having a traditional scanner where you just open up the lid and close the lid down. So I think it's really good in that regard. The quality is really nice. It's built very well, and the software that you get, considering it has OCR built in, is terrific. Really, there's not much more to say about that. So if you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And apart from that, thanks so much, CZUR, for sending me these. I always get mixed up how you pronounce the name. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.